Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run7. How you doing? Today, we are going to be going over Shaxkk, spelled with 2 Ks, because I don't understand how the internet works. So, if you want to catch these streams live and be a part of the conversation, you can always come to my Twitch stream Tuesdays and Thursdays mornings on the West Coast. We have a lot of fun. We're having a lot of people in chat today. They're talking really fast, so I can't hardly keep up with them. But on to Defense Up, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. We're seeing some new things today, so hopefully we'll see some new things here. Because when new characters come to the game, some people like to throw them on defense, and that is a fantastic idea. Anytime new characters come to the game, throw them in on defense. You get some amazing stuff that happens. Okay, first up, we have Cersei and the Asgardians. Now, chat is actually telling me that if Ikaris was in on this team, it would be an absolute bait for symbiotes and X-Men because they'd get deleted by him. I don't know how those mechanics work. I haven't tested it. But putting Hela on defense is an absolute no-no. You don't want to do it. I'm not certain how Cersei's going to play out in this. Chat, help me out here if you know. Is Cersei going to work without Ikaris? Is this going to do a thing, or is this just going to be a waste of Cersei? They'll get around here in about 5 seconds to telling me how that works. You have her as a raider, which is the way you should be doing it. If you run the 5-piece, then you put her as a striker, but you don't want to run the 5-piece on defense. The Asgardians is old, it's busted. You don't want to run them at all on defense. I'm not really sure. Without Ikaris, it won't do much. Just waste Sersi. Okay, so really what we want is Ikaris, not Cersei. With Ikaris, it melts symbiotes before they take a turn. Okay. So I'm guessing we'll replace Sif with Ikaris, and then this team just absolutely destroys. That's what chat's telling me. So let's see if we can't get Ikaris in here on defense, and then suddenly you have the bait and switch for the symbiotes, which I think would be fantastic. I've been trying to find ways of getting Hela back on defense. If this works, whew. All right, as is. I'm pretty sure that this isn't going to work. I think it's going to be a waste of Cersei. I think you're going to waste your whole team. I think that you should, if you don't have Ikaris, break this team up. Put Thor on a Wave 1 Avenger team. Use Loki on a new Warrior offense. Use Hela on a Supernatural offense. These are places where I like to use them. There are a multitude of places you can use them. Don't just take my word for it. You can come to my Discord, ask people. They have lots of advice on where you should be using these characters. But apparently, without Ikaris, we should not be using Hela on defense at this time. So I like the ISOs though. I run Thor as a raider, not a striker, but other people disagree with me on that. It's fine to keep him as a striker for the damage boost. And then skirmisher and fortifier. You don't need Sif as a fortifier either. She should probably be a raider. She's pretty tanky. However, if we're going to be getting rid of her, don't change this. I mean, she's not worth investing in, so don't bother changing it. She's war ready. Leave it as it is. I'm going to give you... normally when people put up Asgardians, I just give them an automatic F. I'm unsure about this. This is new, right? So I'm going to give you a D for right now. People in chat are telling me that this isn't going to work. But I'm going to give you a D for trying something a little bit new. Maybe it'll have some sort of effect. You might get lucky. But let's get Ikaris in here and see if we can't do better. Ikaris as a striker, by the way. All right, team number 2. This is a Merc team. I don't like your placement and I don't like your ISOs. Raider is a terrible choice for Taskmaster. He should either be a skirmisher with the rest of the Mercs being striker, or he should be a striker with the rest of the Mercs being skirmisher. I like him as a skirmisher. That way he goes in for the assist, and then you get a triple tap with all of your Mercs. Shuri's a fine build right here. As you start getting up into like 500k and stuff, you should consider switching her out with Ultimus, because people can go in with the Skilletary team and destroy this. Actually, this isn't going to be too challenging of a team because you're not getting triple hit combos. You're not getting any steals off of his basic with either build. The Striker helps him to steal those positive effects off of his basic. The Skirmisher allows for the triple hit combo and more damage. So your choice on how you want to run that. Raider just doesn't work that great. He's putting out extra vulnerables, but you don't have a single striker on this team, so it's a total waste. Really bad ISOs on that one. You have Fortifier on this guy because he's the smallest, but he is kind of tanky. I'm not sure if he needs it. I would rather see you just put a little bit more gear into him. Bring him up to 13 or 14 if you're serious about this defense. This defense is getting kind of old, so a 14 investment on a minion, that's a tough call, you know? I really like my Mercs. I had a 7 red star Taskmaster, so I kind of went to the moon on them. Here's another problem, though, is the placement. Merc Riot Guard does adjacent deflex on enemy turns, so you want to put him in the middle somewhere, not to the outside. Normally, you have your tanks to the outside. I am going to be putting out a video with Professor Rumbledork, and he and I are going to put out some videos on placement and some ISO basics for people who are new and want to figure that out. But until then, you'll just have to come here and listen to me get frustrated at these builds. Let's go Shuri. Yeah, we're gonna go Shuri, then Killmonger, then I like Riot Guard, then Lieutenant, and then Taskmaster out on the end. Taskmaster doesn't do anything adjacent, so you put him out on the end. Lieutenant and Riot Guard do adjacent stuff, adjacent healing and adjacent deflex, so put them in the middle. He's got some healing on his own, so I just stick him over by Cersei and let him take the deflex. So yeah, it's a good team. You're using the right people, but with the placement and such terrible ISOs, I can't give you a good grade. This is a C- over here. This team's kind of going to waste. Team number 3, fantastic for Tron. Okay, I think when you use Ultron on this team, you should probably be using him on offense, and you should be replacing Johnny with Ultron. You get a little bit, it just works better. The thing is, the thing does some damage, you know, but honestly, who cares? It's pretty minutiae at this point. You should definitely be putting She-Hulk in the middle, and you want Sue and Mr. Fantastic as skirmishers, Ultron and Johnny as strikers, or Ultron and Thing as strikers. I think just put Thing back in here, use Ultron on an offensive team or an offensive or a defensive hybrid elsewhere. I think this team on defense just works better as the Fantastic Four and She-Hulk. But whatever, it makes it a little bit more scary. It's probably going to make, honestly, it might be worse putting Ultron in here because people are going to see Ultron and they might actually overcompensate just a little bit. Whereas the other team doesn't look that scary, and sometimes they do something stupid like come in here with a team that throws out negative effects, and they can kind of screw themselves with She-Hulk throwing those negative effects back. So it's a little different. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But I don't like her as a healer. I like her as a skirmisher. I don't like her as a healer. I like her as a skirmisher, or Fortifier is a secondary choice. You have 1 skirmisher and 2 strikers. So if you're not going to make Mr. Fantastic a 2.3 skirmisher, then you got to get somebody else as a skirmisher. And my vote is for Sue. Yeah, so let's tinker with those ISOs. Contemplate getting the Thing back in here. Change your placement. I'm going to give you a C+ for that team. Team number 4 is Uncanny X-Men. Just a straight up Uncanny X-Men, huh? Okay. Kestrel's going to roll this team. The only thing is, your power levels are doing you a favor on this, okay? These are really low power level teams, and she's up there a lot more. You know, she's more than twice as powerful as the rest of the team, so it's a little bit of a troll team, right? Somebody might, however, just come in here with like just their Kestrel, like just their Kestrel and some scrub players as targets or something like that, and probably still beat this. But you might get lucky and have somebody come in on a massive punch down, not understanding what they're doing, or misunderstand what's happening here and underestimate the power of her. This is kind of like a sandbag team that I use in RTA. You bring in a big Phoenix and really small tunes, and then Phoenix just wipes everybody out. So you could get lucky with this. Fortifier, Skirmisher, Raider, and Striker. I like Cyclops as a striker. He does damage. I understand why you're doing it. He does do multiple targets on his attacks. He's all about damage, though. I would like to see, if you're going to run this team and you don't have Bishop and Jubes unlocked, you should definitely get Beast in here. I like Wolverine on that Weapon X team. There are some new videos coming out where you can, or not too new, But Fat Panda, who is also a new member of the Non-Voice, just put out a video a week or two ago of a 3-piece Weapon X team taking out Heroes for Hire. Now, it's a small Heroes for Hire, but it's the first time I've seen anything take out the 5-piece Heroes for Hire at any level other than Infinity Watch. So who knows? Anyway, it's a thing to do. He can also be used as a striker when he does his combo assist. He gets speed up and can make him faster. So you could make him a striker. I kind of like him as a raider. This team is all over the place, but you're not over investing in it. I don't like this one ISO. This is a misleading power level, which could work to your advantage. I think, yeah, that's good too. You know what? I'm going to give you a B+ on this. Just because you're not really wasting anything. I'm assuming you don't have Omega Red unlocked, so you're just throwing him over here, and that's fine. Yeah, it's a thing to do. Just watch out, because I do think that you're going to have some like medium-sized Kestrels just come in and roll this team. That's probably its #1 weakness. So watch in your history, see what they're attacking into it with. If that's the case, you might consider doing something completely different with this team. Team number 5, Pym Tech. Okay, I don't like the placement on this team. Everything else is great. Everything else is great. Yeah. You're not over investing because most of these characters kind of suck. I'm not a big fan of Ghost, but she is the best member of this team by far. You do have to build this team for certain things, for raid lanes if that's where you're at, for unlocks, things like that. So, I mean, and you got to build them to a certain level. I like taking Ghost way up and leaving the rest way down. You could alternatively bring up Yellow Jacket a little bit too, because he's, you know, there's people that like Yellow Jacket. I'm not one of them. However, your placement is no good. Let's put Yellow Jacket in the middle and Ghost off to his wing. That way you have the dodgy folks on either side of Yellow Jacket protecting him with the tanks to the outside, on the outsides of those dodgy folks helping with chain attacks. That's the best you can do. Kind of splitting hairs. It's a junk filler team. I think that it's actually better to be taking Ghost and or Yellow Jacket off of this team and using them on a defensive hybrid with like Ultron, maybe Vision, Minerva in there, something like that helps too. So yeah, hold on, chat's yelling at me about something. Yellow Jacket is Ghost's wingman. Okay, yeah. So yeah, fix that placement, make sure that they're war ready. I mean, you already got them to 3 ISOs. Take them to 4, make them war ready. And then Fortifier works on her. She's one of the few tanks that I actually do recommend Fortifier because she is a bit squishy, and of course she's your smallest member on this team too, so I think you're doing good there. Yeah, make them war ready, fix your placement, and then I could give you the A for this team. But honestly, I think you should try and build a better hybrid. For right now, I think it's a B at best. 6. Wave 1 Avengers-ish. Okay, so hopefully you're using Black Widow on the Skilletary for offense. Captain Marvel, everybody's throwing her on this team. I don't like her on this team, but I mean, where else are you going to use her? She doesn't actually have a lot of synergy with this team. She's a plug-and-play character, and you kind of fill her in here. Okay, so you got Skirmisher on Hawkeye. That's fine. You could also make him a striker if you wanted to. But you have Captain Marvel as your striker, and then you put Healer on the Witch. Okay, Scarlet Witch doesn't have any healing in her kit at all. I think that Healer ISO is a waste. I think you should be using either Raider or Skirmisher on her. There's even a case to be made for Striker, but she doesn't do a lot of damage. So honestly, I think Raider or Skirmisher. Skirmisher because she does apply a lot of negative effects. So maybe that is the way to go if you want to take her up to level 5. If you're just gonna make her war ready, probably go with the Raider just to try and get some more vulnerables out on the field. So otherwise, this is pretty good. You could swap placement with Captain America and Hulk. Not that it really matters. This is kind of turning into a junk filler team. The Wave 1 Avengers are getting really old. I have trouble recommending them to anybody anymore because there's just so much that beats them. You know, we're going over that war offense list now that looks like I'll probably be putting that out monthly, by the way. And as we were going over that list, it was like, yeah, this kills Wave 1 Avengers. This kills Wave 1 Avengers. This kills Wave 1 Avengers. So I don't see any way to make this team any better. Alternatively, you could put Ikaris and Sersi in here. You know, they're new. You could be throwing people for a loop on that one. You might try that for a little while at least. As for now, this is a C team at best. It does not excite me. I don't like the ISOs. The placement could use some tweaking. None of these characters are very good. I don't, you know, make them war ready, but really you don't want to try to invest in this team. It's not going anywhere. All right, team number 7, Heroes for Hire. Look at that. I like what you're doing here. You got old, excuse me. You got old Wang Chung here, all powered up, and the rest of them just rock bottom. Whatever. You might troll somebody into bringing something crazy in here. I mean, you could easily bring in a Black Order on this team and punch down and destroy them, and they'll still be dead because it doesn't look like you've got any of the ISOs. Any of the T4s in here. Obviously, you don't even have them up into, you know, gear tier 9. So let's take a look at what you're doing, what you could be doing in the future, because you're not wasting any resources, so props to you there. And you're probably using him in other places, and that's why he's built up. So, Luke Cage as a healer, before you go anywhere with him, change him to a fortifier. He dies and revives, and you're going to get more value out of the fortifier build with him spawning in with more of that barrier than you will with the healer, where he probably doesn't even take a turn the whole match. He's so slow. Even on this team, he's slow. And you're not going to get any value out of healer ISO. So, change that to a fortifier. Then you've got skirmisher, healer, striker, raider. I like Iron Fist as a skirmisher also. That seems to be a very popular trend here, putting more vulnerable on the field. You don't need his healing. Again, they're dying and reviving, and you've got, you know, the Shredder over here. He's putting out heals on the team almost better than Iron Fist ever did. So change him to a skirmisher before you get started. Then make him war ready, build him up to gear tier 12, 6664, leave him be. They'll be about 400k-ish. It'll still require a Weapon X or an Infinity Watch to beat, and that's all you really need them for, right? Is just soak those up. You're doing really good here. You're on the right track. Fix those 2 ISOs. I could actually give you an A for this as is because you're not wasting any resources yet. It's on the build, you know? But I would like to see you bring this up to 400, switch those ISO rounds. So I'm going to give you a B for now until you get those changed and let me know that you're on the right path. Team number 8. What the heck is this? Okay, so we got pieces of Marauders. We got pieces of Brotherhood, and we got a piece of the Weapon X team. All right, none of it's war ready other than Lady Deathstrike. You're probably using Lady Deathstrike in Doom Raids. I like her in Doom Raid 2, not Doom Raid 1, but I do like her in Doom Raid 2, and I think people should be using her there until we get better stuff. Sen Raven rating with a party of 10. Appreciate that, Sen Raven. Thank you. Let's see, Fortifier over here, that's good. Skirmisher here, that's good. She's kind of a bad tune. Whoops, I just screwed that one up, didn't I? Tick, 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 tick. There we go. You know, make her war ready, but better would be replace her. She's just not that great. Mags is causing some problems for your enemies right there. As a raider, that's fine. Striker on her, that's where she should be, and healer over here. So the ISOs are right. I think you should be replacing Mystique with a different mutant villain. Ooh, maybe since you're not using Weapon X on offense, maybe replace her with Sabretooth back on this original team. He's got synergy with everybody that you're using, right? He's going to be going pretty fast. He does a lot of damage. I think he's a way better pick than Mystique now that he's been reworked. I can't even think of anybody else that you could use in there. You really do want to stick with villain mutants because that's what gives Strife that opening turn meter to get the taunt up fast and help protect this team from crazy stuff like ability blocks. Otherwise, people have to bring in, they got to bring in Shadowlands or some sort of a Zemo build to try and help with Strife. Not a huge team, but that's okay. They're probably going to underestimate the power of her, so you might see them come into this with an appropriately built Shadowlands and not realize how big she is, right? And if you get lucky and she lands a vulnerable on somebody, no, that wouldn't even work because she goes after Lady Deathstrike, so whatever, is what it is. It's interesting, it's different, it's gonna cause people some problems. It's another troll team because you got that wonky power level going on here. I kind of like what you're trying to do. I would like to see you replace Mystique. I think for right now, this team's a B. If you find the right fifth for this team, before you unlock Omega Red. I'd like to see you kind of flesh it out, see where you go. Let me know how it works on defense, who's attacking into it, and what they're doing. I'm kind of curious, because I've never seen Lady Deathstrike in on this team, and I think there's some good synergies there. So, not too bad. All right, team number 9. Here's the New Warriors with Silver Surfer and Emma. Okay, so we have 2 problems. 1, you have 3 strikers and only 1 skirmisher. You need to bring him up to a 2.3 skirmisher so he puts the double vulnerables on the field. Make sure these guys are only 2.2 or less, so that they only soak up 1 vulnerable. That will help with that. I don't see any reason to switch anybody else on this team to a different ISO. You just got to have more strikers, you know. But you could help with that by bringing him up to 2.3. The other problem I see with this defense is that it's defense. You should be using this on offense. This is a whopper of a team, right? They destroy some stuff. You could also swap these guys out with Eternals. The Eternals are the new hot sauce. We don't even know how they work. They're so new. I mean, Ikaris came out like 2 days ago. Or at the time of this recording, it was 2 days. And so they're doing some crazy stuff, but they got great synergy with this team. This is one of the strongest defenses in the game right now outside of Heroes for Hire. I just think it's a stronger offense, and we should always be going offense over defense. So if you want to use him on defense, fine by me. Switch, build him up a little bit, and I can give you an A for the team, reluctantly, because I'd like to see him on offense. But otherwise, yeah, it's great. You got everything going on correct here, so that's good. Emma's gonna have some value, I think, in Arena for certain comps. You might consider bringing her up on the healer thing also, or maybe not just yet, because if we do start using Emma in the Arena, I bet somebody's gonna come up with a case to make her something else for some strange reason. So maybe leave her at a level 5 right there. Okay. And finally, you have a Doc Ock Sinister Six team. I think this team is going to start getting awarded the F. This team is an absolute liability on defense. They get ripped up by too many teams, and Doc Ock is a great character. He can be used on defensive hybrids. He can be used on offensive teams. This team itself can be used on offense to do some crazy stuff. They go into Black Order. They can work against symbiotes. Wait, is it symbiotes? I don't remember. Check out my offensive team list. I do talk about them there and who they can beat. I don't use them on offense. I use Doc Ock hybrids on defense. But you don't ever want to use this entire team on defense, because people come into Mysterio, kill him, then kill his mirror clone things, and then they have a bunch of turn meter to get his summons, and they can just take this team down. And this particular build is really, really bad, because you have such low power in all of these guys. So somebody can come in here with a 300 symbiotes, which would normally not be able to beat a Doc Ock. I mean, a 300 symbiotes is, each member is gonna be what, 60k or something, and they're gonna have trouble beating Doc Ock. But after that 300 symbiotes comes through and kills all of these people and their dupes and his summons, they're gonna have so much turn meter, they're gonna roll right over him. So they don't even have to punch down. It's not even a troll team. It's actually inviting people. Yeah, I really, really don't like this. I definitely think you got to get them off of defense, use them on offense, or put him on a hybrid defense. What you should be using in their place is a Sinister Six OG team. Just replace Doc Ock with, I don't know, Shock or Electro or Swarm, any of them really. Put them in there. It's just a team that people have to go in and beat. It's gonna get beat. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's see what we should be using. Skirmisher over here. I like Mysterio better as a striker. He actually calls assists, and if you happen to get a striker skirmisher combo going on, then he triple taps. He also clears with his basic, I believe. I think that's what he does. Also, Green Goblin, I kind of like him as a skirmisher also. Raider is a good second choice though, because he's got AoE attacks. However, he does I think applies defense down on his turn, and he strips positive effects or something like that. Gosh, this team is so old and busted, I can't remember. But I do like him as a skirmisher. Raider's a fine pick, though. I'm not going to dock you for that. Skirmisher's actually not so bad for Mysterio either, though. And you're not over-investing at 1. You don't need Fortifier on Rhino. You want him to be a Raider, and Raider on Vulture. Hey, you got one right. Okay. Yeah, this team's an F. Get Doc Ock out of there and save him for some good stuff. Okay, this has been Shaxkk's defense up video. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, contact me if you want your defense up on these videos. Yeah, the list is actually getting really long right now, so get on it fast if you want to take advantage of that. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. I absolutely love doing these defense videos. If I said something really stupid, please let me know in the comments, right? Just be respectful, and let me know if you've got better ideas. I do read these comments. It's how I grow as a content creator, and that's how you can help me out and be a part of this conversation. Also joining me on Twitch. Then every once in a while, I do read that Twitch stream while I'm doing these videos too. All right, guys. Don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too. Thanks. Bye.